So, so yesterday we have seen that so yesterday we have taken some sample data in the Excel file, right? So
Yeah.
for example, we have taken this sample data in the Excel file yesterday. The student name is a one column, subject is another column, and marks is another column. So today what we will do is we'll try to create the same data in the MySQL database. Okay.
Okay.
So first you have to install the MySQL database. Just go to our website and download tools. Just download MySQL Workbench here. So once you download the MySQL Workbench, right? So just go through the random steps only. Just try to install it. It will be easy only. If you don't, if you have any confusion between, right, you can go through YouTube or something like that. So, but once you start the installation, right, then go to the default options. What it is providing. Just click on next, 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 and like that only. So once you install the MySQL Workbench, just come to your search box and just click on the MySQL Workbench here. So, okay. So when you click on this like MySQL Workbench, this is the opening page you can see. So in this, like all these are the connections I have already created. Okay. So this, what is MySQL Workbench? I will first tell you. So we have database. So this database is somewhere in the world. Like this database is installed in some computer somewhere in the world. So it is also a like server only actually. So server means it will be somewhere, it will be installed somewhere in the world. We have to access this database from this SQL workbench. So like for example, from Tableau desktop, we are trying to connect to the Excel files and databases, right? In a similar way, if you want to connect to the MySQL database, which is already installed somewhere in the world in some computer, we cannot go to that computer and we can access the database, right? Because of that reason, we will install MySQL workbench in our local system, and using this workbench, we will make a connection to the databases. In a simple word, we are using mobile phones and we are installing ICICI mobile application, for example, any SBI bank application. So SBI is a server installed somewhere in the world in some computer, but we cannot go to that computer. So we are installing ICICI or SBI application in our mobile phone, and we are simply trying to log into the SBI bank using this SBI mobile applications. In a similar manner, if you want to connect to the MySQL database, we have to install the MySQL workbench. So this is one of the tool actually. So when you open this tool, first we have to make a connection, right? So if you want to make the connection, we have to simply click on the this plus symbol actually. So what I will do, so I already created a connection to the so many MySQL databases here. I'll show you how to create one more time here. Just click on the plus symbol. So first we have to give some connection name here. So simply I'm just giving b31 MySQL. So you can give any name here, that is not a problem. Here we have to give the server name. Server name will be given by your client only. For example, I have my own server, my SQL server. The name of the server is, the link to the server is gvcartech.com. And we have to give port number. We have to give the username. So I'm just giving the username is Apple. So this will be also, this username and password both are created by database people only. We need not to worry about. They will give the details. Yes, you have to simply connect it, and we have to provide the password here. Simply click on the store in wallet option. So just provide here password. So I will be providing these passwords to you so that you can practice later. Now we have to provide a schema name actually. So schema name means, for example, I want to create this data. So for example, I want to create this data in a different schemas actually. So because of that reason, we have to provide that schema name here. So I have already created a schema name in my SQL database. That schema name is GVKR. So what we do is in this schema, we are going to create data or tables. So first, so once you provide all these details, right? If you want to check all these details are correct or not, you can simply click on the test connection. When you click on the test connection option, it is showing that connection warning. So nowhere we are seeing a connection to this database can be established, but some MySQL workbench may not work. I think the connection is established already. So you can simply click on the continue anyway here. Now you see successfully made connection to the MySQL workbench. So with this all these details. So once you see this message, simply click on OK here, and you can simply click on OK. When you click on OK, right, that connection is established here. So from next time onwards, right, no need to create this connection again and again. So I can simply open this workbench and simply click on this option, b31 MySQL. So that so it is making a connection to the database with all the details provided you earlier. Now on the left side, I can see, so this is a schema, GVK, this is a schema. Inside this, we have tables actually. So if you click on this drop down, I can see all the tables which the database people have created already. Okay. So if you don't see this page, right, then what you have to do is just simply click on the schemas button first. Then you will see this page. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
now we have already some tables are there, but I want to create one more new table actually. So for that, what I will do, I'll go to first um, query query button. Already, for example, assume that I have already a query one here actually. Okay. So
Mhm.
in this one, I can write my query here. So very simple actually. In the Excel file, we are in the Excel file we have sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 like that, right? But in real time, in the database teams, in the database words, these are called tables. Okay, so this is one table, sheet 2 is one table, like that. In the database terms, we will be calling all these are the tables actually. So we will create tables in the MySQL database now. So very simple how to create the table means, we have some syntax will be there for each and everything in the MySQL in the database. So I want to create table, right? So simply type create. Okay, or when you are typing, right, CREAT, or when you are typing, that SQL will automatically show create option here. Simply click on that. Simply click on the enter button. Create table. Now we have to provide the table name. My table name is B31, and student data I want to provide student data. So this is my table name actually. But if you see here in the MySQL database, we have so many schemas will be there. In each schema, we have multiple tables. So we have to mention in which schema you want to create this table. So to do that, what we have to do is we have to mention the schema name here. So GVKR dot, then we have to provide our table name. So after that, we have to provide open and close parentheses. Now we have given a name to the table here. Okay. Now what is the next thing we have to do here is like we have to give the column names actually. So what is the column name? First column name is student name, second column name is subject, third column name is marks here. So I'll go to MySQL. The first column name is student name. For each and everything, we have to provide comma. For second column name is marks, and third column name I want to provide is like subject. So you can write in random, that is not a problem. So just cut it and put it there, subject, comma, marks. So if you want to provide additional columns also, I want to provide phone number here. Okay. So I'm creating one more additional column in the SQL, that is called phone number. Okay. For example, in the student name, what are the values we have? Venkat, Ravi, all these are values in the student name. Just give me a second. So we have to provide all these values. If you observe here, student name contains alphabets here.
Yeah.
Subject contains alphabets here. Marks contains numeric values. First, let me come with this marks column. So I'll go to this marks column, and I have to provide here a data type actually. Maybe we are new to this data type. I'm not sure. So we have data types in databases. Not only in databases. Whatever the tool you will take, Java, Python, Power BI, anything you will take, we will be having data types. So I'll tell you what is the meaning of data type. For example, simple, if we are using numbers, right? Okay, let me tell you, there are two types of data types actually in databases. The first type is like character and string, like char 32 or varchar. So all these are coming under one type of database. Okay. So in these data types, what you can provide actually. So here I'm providing Venkat, right? So in this, we can provide alphabets, and we can also provide numbers also actually. We can provide numbers also, and we can provide alphanumeric actually. Alphanumeric. You know meaning, what is the meaning of alphanumeric? Alphanumeric means alphabets plus
Plus
numbers.
numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can provide so this is one type of databases we have in the this is one type of database. And second type of data type is like integer, big integer, and float, float, like that we have all this. So in this type of columns, so for example, if you take marks column, in the marks column we have 70. Sometimes I will get 70.42 marks, like that. Just assume that if you take sales, it is a 70.42, like that, right? So it is nothing but floating here. Integer means 60, floating means 70.42,
We have
big
a dot bit అంటే నెంబర్స్ మధ్యలో అట్లా డాట్ ఉంటే ఫ్లోట్ అంటామా?
yeah, floating are decimals.
డెసిమల్స్. ఫ్లోటింగ్ ఆర్ డెసిమల్స్.
Yeah, decimal means, for example, I can say it's a decimal number. Why? Because it contains zero point 0.42. So it is a
పాయింట్.
decimal number, I can say. So this is one type of databases, one type of data types we have uh, in databases.
క్యారెక్టర్ క్యార్ అన్నా కూడా ఓన్లీ ఆల్ఫాబెట్స్ వస్తుంది కదా!
For example, if you provide the data type is character, right? I can provide only one character only, like A or B, or like that only. I can provide only one character. For
ఆర్ ఇట్ కెన్
example,
బి నంబర్స్ ఆల్సో. ఓన్లీ 1 నంబర్.
only one number, like that
ఓకే.
character.
స్ట్రింగ్ మీన్స్
It means you can provide any number of characters. Character 32 means we can provide only up to 32 alphabets, alphanumerics, like 32 letters. Something.
ఓకే.
And varchar means, for example, we have Chinese language, we have some different languages, right? So if you provide character, you can provide only one language, English, something like that. But if you provide var character, right, you can provide mixing of alphabets, like Chinese letters, mixing of like English, Chinese, Japanese, like that you can provide.
ఓకే.
So this is the knowledge I have, what I have in the data types. So and integer, big integer means these are numbers only, numbers, uh, decimals, like that. Big integer means it is have like a large number of digits. So and for which type of column, see, for each and every column in real time we have to provide data type. For example, if I take student name, we have to provide any one of these data type. But based on the values what I have provided here, I can provide a either character, string, char 32, any one of these data types. So I'll go to my SQL workbench. After student name, we have to provide character 32. You can provide character 20 also, that is not a problem. But if you provide 20, the name under the student name should not exceed 20 letters, like that. And for subject also, if you see, uh, in the column here also it is containing alphabets only or alphanumerics only. So what I can do here, I can provide character 30 or like that. I can do anything, that is not a problem. Marks means, for marks I want to provide integer here. Why? Because all these contains numbers or decimals and all those only. So you can provide either floating or any one of these you can provide, integer, big integer, floating. Okay, so whenever you see numbers, we have to provide integer here. And for phone number, I want to tell you like 1234 I'm just taking random number here without something like that. So phone number also contains numeric values only. But here I will go for phone number, and here I will provide character here. And you may confuse that we have two columns, marks column and phone number. Both contains numeric values only here and here. But why we are providing marks for integer, sorry, integer for marks column and character for phone number. Okay, if you want to decide which one you have to provide, we have a simple thing here. So for example, my HOD is asking that I want to do the summation of all these marks. Then it is summing up to 295, right? So if you want to do the summation of all the rows in a column, then we have to provide integer, big integer or floating. Now, for a phone number, I don't want to do the summation of all these phone numbers. Even though it is a number, I don't want to do the summation of all these. Why? Because it will provide you the uh, it will provide you a it will provide you some result which is not acceptable. For example, I can't add two phone numbers, right? So uh, like we can do this type of analysis in real time. This thing will be decided by the database people. Sometimes database people also don't know which thing they have to provide. So they will sometimes provide integer for this marks, and for phone number also they will provide integer sometimes. Sometimes they will provide character for marks also, and sometimes they will provide character for phone number also. So that is not a problem. Later point of time, we can change the data type in Tableau, within Tableau. That is not a problem. But initially, what the data type you want to provide is we have to identify in this way. If there is a requirement in Tableau to do the summation of all the rows in a particular column, right? If you want to do the summation, we have to go for this any one of this data type. If you don't want to do the summation of all these, right, then we have to go for a character type, any one of these. So for example, instead of phone number, I want to take roll number. Simple. This will be very like for example, if I take Venkat, the roll number is 1. Now we see I can simply decide which one I can provide here. See, roll numbers I cannot do the summation, right? If you do the summation of all these three for a Venkat, it will be resulting to 3 actually. So which is an invalid roll number actually. Why? Because for a Venkat person, we have to always show the roll number is 1 only. We should not do the summation of all these three roll numbers. But if you see all these three rows for a Venkat, we have to do, if you want to get the total marks, right, we have to do the summation of all these three rows. So if you want to do the summation of all the rows, just go for this data type. If you don't want to do the summation, if you want to display roll numbers as it is, like Venkat Ravi, then go for this data type. And in Tableau, this data type, so if any measure, if any field which is consisting of this data type, right? So this is called measure. This is called measure in the Tableau. Okay. And
Okay.
any field which is given this type of data type, which is called dimension. And we have one more type of data type in databases, that is called dates. Dates and date times. So what is the difference between date and date time? Means date means I can say today date, 20, February 27, like that. Date time means along with date, I will tell time also, hour, minute, seconds also. Okay. And in the interview, they will ask you what is the difference between the measure and a dimension. Simple thing. Measure means if I take any measure, I can do the summation of all the rows in a measure. That is the meaning of measure. If I was able to do the summation of all the rows in a particular column, that is a measure. If I don't want to do the summation of all the rows in a particular column, that is a dimension. So dates and date times also coming under dimension only in Tableau. And as I told you, we have different data types for different tools, right? So in the
Yeah.
database language, these are the data types. But when come to Tableau, we have some different data types. So if you for all these data types in databases, the corresponding data type in the Tableau is string. And for all these data types, in the databases, the corresponding data type in the Tableau is like number, decimal, or number whole. Number whole. So I'll just simply tell you a simple thing. So dimension also like coming under string one. Okay. So let me create quickly in this here. So just roll number. So roll number. So just execute this, just create the table, just execute this one. So at the end, you can provide colon, semicolon or not, that is not a problem. Just execute this one. So once this is successful, right, just below, you will be seeing this green color tick mark here saying that is successful. But we don't, we are just provided, we have created a table with this table name, and all the columns are, these are the 4 columns we have created in this table. Now, I want to see that table here. Now we have to go for select statement. Select star from, we have to give the table name. So if you want to see what is the data in this table, right, you just created, right, then we have to go for the select statement. So in the from statement, we have to always provide table name here. And in the select statement, I have to provide column names. I want to select all the columns. So instead of specifying a particular column name in the select statement, just give the star here. So star means it will give you all the columns. So just select this query, 2 lines, just execute the query. Now you see, I got the output with all the columns. For example, but I don't have any data in the columns. Okay. Now I want to enter some data into all these columns. So very simple. I want to insert some data, right? So insert, I have to give table name. So the table name is this one. So this is the syntax actually. So for creating table, this is the syntax. If you want to insert some values, right, then insert into, we have to provide table name. After that, we have to give, I have to provide values, right? Then, sorry, just 1 second. Just provide values here. Just write values here, and within the bracket, we have to provide values. So student name, I want to provide Venkat here. As it is a string data type, right? Provide within the single quote. And subject, like within the single quote, I can provide Telugu. And marks, I'm just providing 50 here. As it is a numeric value, we have to always give, don't give within single quote, just to provide directly. Now the roll number, I want to provide 1 here. As it is a character, right? The data type of the roll number is character, right? So provide 1 here within single quote. Now let's execute this query. Okay, let's execute this one. So you see now, again we got one more green tick mark here. 1 row is inserted, actually affected means 1 row is inserted into this table. If you want to see again what is the data we have in this table, just go for the select statement, just run this. Now you see what are the data and we have entered here. We can see all the data in the table here. Now I'll go to my Tableau here. If you want to connect the database, right, simply go to the data option, or simply go to the data option and simply click on the new data source option, or go to the this symbol here, just search for the MySQL database, provide server name, port number, database, username and password, what we have provided while connecting to the MySQL workbench. Same details we can provide within the Tableau also. Just click on the sign in option. Now we see I have connected to the MySQL database. So this is the server name and this is the database we have, and we have all these tables here. Now I want to see b31 student sample data, right? This table, I want to work on this table only. So simply drag this table here. Now once you drag the table here, we already know whatever the data we have in that table, we can see all the data here. That is a row level data. Now I can go to sheet 2 or sheet 3, I'll get new sheet here. Now I can see that data source also here. Yesterday we have connected to sample superstore Excel file here. Today we have connected to MySQL workbench data table. Now I can see all the columns here. Now you see in Tableau also, I told you we have a data type for each and every field, right? So simply go to a particular drop down here, go to the change data type option. You see default it is a string here. So now I told you like we have dimensions and measures in Tableau, right? We have dimensions and measures in Tableau. So how to identify diamond and how to identify measure? Simple. If you hover, if you see any field which is in blue color, that is a dimension. Simple. If you see any field which is in green color, that is a measure. And for measure, what is the thing we have done till now is all the measures are summable actually. If you take marks column, all the rows are summable. So if you see marks is coming under measure here, when you drag this into the text here, this is automatic, Tableau is automatically doing the summation here. Okay. If you drag any dimension into the row shelf column shelf for text here, that will be that is not summable actually. Tableau will not do the summation for that. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Remaining things we can learn tomorrow. We have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
call. Okay.
Yeah.
And with
Okay.
this, you can see the our creating tables concept and all those in the our previous batch. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.